anovulatory cycles. In this video, we want to talk about anovulatory cycles, the reason why women may experience menstruation without ovulating. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition on Body Gist. In this edition, like I said before, we'll be looking at the reasons why a woman is menstruating and she's not ovulating. I am Sister Ozo Augusta, a sister of Senbi. I am a nurse and a midwife. If you are just joining us on Body Gist, ensure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you always get notified when we upload new videos. This is me saying thank you to all our returning subscribers. Do well to follow us on all our other platforms. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Do not go away. We will be right back. Welcome back. What is ovulation? Ovulation is the cyclic changes that occur. That is the cyclic release of egg on the 14th day of every cycle for a woman who has a 28-day cycle. This release of egg is characterized, or you can know it by the signs and symptoms such as a slight increase in the basal body temperature. Then there can be slight headache in the woman having the ovulation. Then there are appearance of pimples or acne on the face or on some parts of the body, such as even the chest. Then there is the ovulation. There's an increase in ovulation mucus, which is stretchy, it is more in quantity, and it is slippery. Then menstruation is the shedding of the inner lining of the uterus, that is the endometrium. This occurs on the first day of a 28-day cycle for most women, though it can vary from one woman to the other. And when the woman is menstruating, of course, she sees the blood flowing through her private part. Then there could be other changes such as the woman having acne can also appear. Then she can have lower abdominal pain due to the shedding of the endometrial lining. Now, it is believed that the menstrual cycle is a function of several hormones. We have the follicle stimulating hormone, the luteinizing hormone, we have the estrogen and the progesterone. These four hormones play a role in function of the menstrual cycle. It is these four hormones that control the release of egg on the 14th day of the cycle and the shedding of the endometrial lining on the first day of the cycle of a 28-day cycle. With the function of these hormones, it will ensure that the egg is released at ovulation and menstruation occurs when at the beginning of the menstrual cycle. Let us look at how menstruation occurs, because we are looking at how menstruation occurs without ovulation. Now, for menstruation to occur, there is supposed to be build up of the uterine lining. This occurs shortly before ovulation occurs. This is in preparation for a fertilization to occur. Now, if ovulation does not occur, the uterus will keep building up, and this is a function of the estrogen to allow the uterine lining to build up. So whether an egg is released or not, the uterine lining will keep building up. If the uterine lining keeps building up, that's a function of the estrogen. The estrogen gets to a point where it peaks and stops allowing the uterine lining to build up. And progesterone is supposed to take up from there. But because there was no released egg or ova, progesterone does not work. This lining that has been built up, the estrogen too level will be reduced, and it cannot be held in place any longer. So that lining that has been built up in the uterus will shed. So if whether the egg is released or not, menstruation will still occur, and that is why menstruation takes longer in women who do not ovulate. So if a woman is experiencing menstruation like around the 35th day, or if she constantly experiences menstruation as long as 35 days, it means that ovulation is not occurring, and that woman is having an ovulation cycle. Anovulatory cycle or anovulation is a condition whereby a woman is having a menstruation, though it will not be frequent. I tell you, it will not be frequent, but she has a menstruation and it is devoid of release of egg or ova as a cycle. What are the conditions whereby a woman will be menstruating and she is not ovulating? The first of it is that it happens in young women who have just started their menstrual cycle. So their menstrual cycle is trying to maintain a balance. It's still trying to find which day or how long, how well is this cycle of this period going to be for this young woman who has just resumed her menstrual cycle. So there could be some shedding of the lining of the uterus without the woman ovulating. This is much possible in young women who have just started their ovulation or their ovulatory cycle or their menstrual cycle. Again, another condition whereby a woman will experience an anovulation, that is menstruation without release of ovulation, is a woman who has just stopped a birth control pill. Remember what birth control pills are. Birth control pills are pills that we use for contraception. They could be used to regulate the menstrual cycle itself. They could also use to control bleeding in a woman. They could also be used to prevent pregnancy from occurring. So what these birth control pills does is that as you have stopped it, the body will also try to find a balance for itself, because we have withdrawn the birth control pills from the cycle, from the system of the woman, from the cycle. So the body is also now trying to find a balance of trying to come back to its normal way of ovulation and menstruation. So menstruation could occur, the body could experience some shedding, some bleeding without ovulation occurring if birth control pills are stopped or withdrawn from a woman's system or cycle. Another condition whereby a woman will experience menstruation without ovulation is when a woman has began the premenopausal state. A woman who has entered premenopause, because there's going to be reduction in the hormone estrogen, the woman will begin to experience some bleeding without her releasing egg or ova, and this will continue until the woman finally attains menopause. So in cases like this, she would experience bleeding without ovulation. A woman who is also experiencing shorter cycles, such as if her cycle is less than 21 days, this woman too is having an anovulatory cycle. It means that this woman is not ovulating. She's just experiencing shedding of the endometrial lining, which is coming down as bleeding, as menstruation. She's not ovulating. And these cases, most often, they lead to infertility in women. The truth about us women is that the chances of every woman who has reached puberty or has attained the reproductive age not to ovulate in its life cycle is very certain. At one point or the other, you will find a woman who never ovulated, yet there was shedding of the endometrial lining. This is because the function of the estrogen that normally builds the uterus in preparation, waiting for the release of egg or ova. So whether the egg or ova was released or not, the uterus will build up to a certain level. So with the withdrawal of estrogen at that point, the uterus sheds on its own, whether the egg was released or not. Hormonal imbalance in the body can also make a woman to have menstruation without having ovulation, and this can play its part in a woman who has lost weight excessively, who cannot maintain a healthy weight. It's either the woman is having weight fluctuations, a woman who is too fat, that is as in obese women, then stressful conditions. All this makes a woman to be predisposed to having an anovulatory cycle. We have looked at the different cases whereby a woman can have an anovulatory cycle. We have looked at the things that can predispose the woman to having an anovulatory cycle, and most importantly, that at one point of her reproductive age or the other, a woman will experience anovulatory cycle, though these are not very common, and like I said before, these cases can lead to infertility. So a woman experiencing anovulatory cycle should be able to dictate or know herself, and if she finds out that she's having an anovulatory cycle, if she has a longer period that is lasting more than 35 days or a shorter period that is as short as 21 days, then the woman should be able to see her gynecologist and talk about this problem with her gynecologist. I hope you have benefited from this video. If you have, do ensure to give us a thumbs up. Keep following us on Body Gist. I still remain Sister Ozo Augusta, while we give you healthy gist.